So this morning, for our call to worship, I'd like to share with you a tale from India. Yudhishthira, the hero of this saga, is renowned for his love of Satya, which means truth, and the Dharma, which is righteousness. But his character is revealed...
That's my friend's parents.
I thought it was an alarm for a second. I guess he likes truth and Dharma. He likes, yes, Satya and Dharma. Truth and righteousness, very good. But his character is revealed most fully at the conclusion of the story. Arduously, Yudhishthira and his brothers ascend the peaks of the Himalayas on their final pilgrimage. One by one, the four brothers fall aside, weighed down by their accumulated karma. But Yudhishthira, who is without sin or blemish, achieves the summit, and there is the king of gods, Indra, prepared to take the hero to heaven in his golden chariot. Wow. But Indra tells Yudhishthira that he must leave his dog behind, as a creature is not worthy of eternity. There is no place in heaven for persons with dogs, the almighty Indra announced. I'm sure you're all happy about that. The heaven you may or may not believe in. Yudhishthira responds, "This dog, O Lord of the past and present, is exceedingly devoted to me. He should go with me. My heart is full of compassion for him, and compassion is the greatest teachings of the Vedas." "But you've renounced everything else," Indra reasons. "Why not sacrifice this dog too? The realm of bliss is awaiting." But Yudhishthira won't betray his friend, even if it means foregoing heaven. It has been said that the abandonment of one that is devoted is infinitely sinful, says Yudhishthira. And it is as bad as slaying a Brahmin or a holy man. "Hence, O great Indra, I shall not abandon this dog today for desire of my own happiness." That's devotion. At this moment of supreme self-denial, the dog morphs into a deity who has just been testing Yudhishthira. And the gates of paradise open for man and mutt alike. And the dog, Svana, whose name in Sanskrit means dog, takes his place in the firmament above as the brightest luminous body that we know today as Sirius, the dog star, brightest in the entire sky. So may that remind us of the divine nature of our relationship with our animals. May it be so.
Brown or white, small or big, newborn or old, chew and dip. Dog or cat, bird or bunny. Messy or neat, hungry or funny. Furry or scaly, smooth or rough. Our pets love us, and that's enough. For the pets we have, for the pets we share, for the fur they have and the colors they wear, I like this chalice for the animals who bring us peace and happiness into our lives. Yay. An Alphabet of Gratitude by Reverend Gary Kowalski. We give thanks to the earth and its creatures and are grateful from A to Z. For alligators, apricots, acorns, and apple trees. For bumblebees, bananas, blueberries, and beagles. Coconuts, crawdads, cornfields, and coffee. Daisies, elephants, and flying fish. For groundhogs, glaciers, and grasslands. Hippos and hazelnuts, icicles, and iguanas. For juniper, jackrabbits, and junebugs. Kudzu and kangaroos, lightning bugs, and licorice. For mountains and milkweed and mistletoe. Narwhals and nasturtiums, otters and ocelots. For peonies, persimmons, and polar bears, quahogs and Queen Anne's lace, for raspberries and roses, salmon and sassafras, tornadoes and tulip wood, urchins and valleys and waterfalls, for X the unknown and mystery of it all. In every yak and yum, your grateful good earth, not least of all for zinnias, zucchini, and zebras, and for the alphabet of wonderful things that are as simple as ABC.
This is Roxy, and she's a representative of the home crew. There's many more back behind that aren't quite as well behaved, so so she's representing all of them. And I think we love them because they just love us no matter what.
Nice. Okay. Well, Roxy, may you live a long, happy, and blessed life. May there be food in your belly and a warm place to sleep, and may love and joy fill your days. From our hearts and minds into our hands, around and around this circle of friends, may our blessings flow.
This is our dog Brownie, and we love her because she always loves us.
Wonderful. Yeah. Brownie, hi. May you live a long and happy and blessed life. May there be food in your tummy and a warm place to sleep. And may love and joy fill your days. From our hearts and our minds and into our hands, around and around this circle of friends, may your blessings flow. And who is this?
This is Lila.
Hello, Lila. Oh, you're just dying to get down, aren't you? May you live a long and happy and blessed life. May there be food in your belly and a warm place to sleep. And may love and joy fill your days. From our hearts and minds and into our hands, from around and around this circle of friends, may blessings flow. Thank you. Oh.
She's soft and cute and has very inquisitive eyes.
Hello, Mabel. And she's a hamster. Yes, she is a little tiny hamster. She's so cute. That's about how old I am. Mabel, may you live a long and happy and blessed life. May there be food in your belly and a warm place to sleep. And may love and joy fill your days. From our hearts and minds and into our hands, around and around this circle of friends, may blessings flow. Here's a treat.
This is Willow, and she's really skittish and shy, and she's learning to be more playful.
Okay. Hi, Willow. It's okay. It's okay. Hi, sweetie. Willow, may you live a long and happy life and a blessed life. And may there be food in your belly and a warm place to sleep. And may love and joy fill your days. From our hearts and minds and into our hands, around and around this circle of friends, may our blessings flow. Thank you. Oh, what a sweetie. What a pretty dog. It's okay.
Rowan is the Irish setter, and Cody is the skipper key. And Cody we love because he's a protector.
Rowan is always enthusiastic and thinks the world should always be ready to play.
Nice. Okay. Cody. Yes. Cody, may you live a long and happy life and blessed life. May there be food in your belly and a warm place to sleep, and may love and joy fill your days. From our hearts and minds and into our hands, around and around this circle of friends, may blessings flow. Thank you. Hello, playful one. Rowan, may you live a long and happy and blessed life, and may there be food in your belly and a warm place to sleep, and may love and joy and lots of play fill your days. From our hearts and minds and into our hands, around may or may not be pets that may or may not live with us, let us bless them as well. From our hearts and minds and into our hands, around and around this circle of friends, may blessings flow to all animals. Around and around our beloved earth, for all beings, may blessings flow. Thank you.
A dog's life is forlorn, dear God. Though we may leap in sport, our sorrow, and it breaks our hearts, is that our lives are short. A dog's best friend is man, they say, or woman, saint or knave. So dogs long to escort those lives from childhood to the grave. We live too fast. At 3 months old, we match a child of 4. At 1, we're as grown up as our friend, who is 16 or more. In just 2 years, we're as mature as humans 25. And when we're 10, we're getting old and lucky to survive. Please hear our prayer, forgive our need to leap and bark and snort, for we must cram a world of love into a life so short.
So I invite us now into a spirit of prayer and meditation. I share with you this interspecies meditation. If you happen to be close to an animal, I invite you to look that animal in the eyes. It might be your dog or cat or one of the creatures other present in this room. As you look into those eyes, reflect that this being is a never to be duplicated expression of the universe. Pay attention to what you see. The years of living present within those eyes and the vitality that shines through their color and transparency. You can look into this being's eyes. Pay attention also to what you cannot see. The inwardness, the selfhood, the I that is singular as its outward expression. What you look upon is a living spirit. Greet and respect it. Appreciate it for what it is. Ask yourself, what does it feel like to be this creature? What does the world look like through its eyes? This is a creature who is alive and has desires like you. It walks the same ground and breathes the same air. It feels pain and enjoys its senses, the dazzling warmth of the sun, the cool shade of the forest, the refreshing taste of pure water, just as you do. And in this, we are all kin. In that kinship, all life exists. Through that kinship, we find wholeness. Out of that kinship, we can draw wisdom and understanding for the healing of our common home. That's by Gary Kowalski. There's something sacred about the bonds that grow between ourselves and our pets. They are clearly different than we are, and yet at times we feel so connected with them that they might even feel like an extension of ourselves. they certainly are very important members of our family. And so it hurts so deeply when our animals are inevitably, when they get sick or injured and eventually die. So often the pain of such a loss is sharp and deep, because this was a loved one that you cared for every day, played with, snuggled with, some of our pets, every day. And in some ways, the animals of our lives are closer to us than most people, because they are always there, sharing in the deep companionship of love and devotion and care. So my cat Tiki is an old dude. He just turned 16 years old a couple months ago, and he's a big old retired cat who likes to sleep in the softest, most sun-drenched spots in the house. He just kind of knows the rotation of where they're going to be throughout the day. First thing in the morning, he gets up and he does his cat yoga on the patio as he watches the sun rise. And when I've been gone for a while, he is very talkative, telling me all about his day and asking me about mine, of course. And of course, I tell him. And the conversation is usually, meow, 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 meow. Yeah, back and forth. We talk all the time. We meow back and forth as if we are having a serious conversation about the latest stats of a favorite sports team. And then after a few pets and a few nibbles, it's back to the land of comfort and sleep until it is nighttime, of course, when it is time to prowl. He prowls around a bit and gets to know his new neighborhood and the other cats. Now, he's generally not one for fighting, so he has already come across his best bud from across the street, Bandit, my neighbor's cat. He comes over to hang out with Tiki in the garage. They watch the neighborhood and swap heroic tales, and I swear the other night they were even drinking beer. I got Tiki when he was just a kitten, and he has lived with me his whole life since. I know his language and he knows mine, and he comes when I call him, and he even puts his paw in my hand when we snuggle at night. This service and this ceremony is all about blessing the animals in our lives. But consider the title, Blessing of the Animals. Let's turn it around for a moment. It's not so much their blessing, that we are blessing them, but they bless us every moment of every day. But let's be honest, owning pets isn't just sweetness and love all the time. Just like every human relationship, these relationships also take a lot of work. We're responsible for feeding them and picking up after them and keeping their environment clean and keeping them safe. In the case of dogs, they often help us keep the house safe and keep us safe, or at least they think they do. Many of our animals have their own issues, do they not? And are quite capable of causing problems in our lives, yes? From maybe chewing up shoes and clothes, to having accidents, to clawing on the furniture, and much, much more. Our animals, from time to time, also need our forgiveness. And pet owners, there are few among us that don't feel that we too need to be forgiven by them from time to time. Learning to have a loving and caring relationship with a pet is learning to have loving and caring relationships in life with all beings, whether they are human or otherwise. Now, some of you may take issue with what I just said, because you recognize that sometimes it is easier to love our pets than other humans, because pets don't generally talk back, or at least they don't argue. They might talk back. And they love us unconditionally. They're almost always ready to be petted or played with, and they generally don't hold a grudge. They are innocent of all those complicated dimensions of the human life. The relationships that we have stay on the basic, fundamental dimension of love, care, commitment, and acceptance. Hopefully, The lesson isn't so much that humans are intolerable, as it is nothing more important in any relationship, even the human ones, than love, care, commitment, and acceptance. Now, I've been especially sensitive and aware of so many stories from many of you about pets that have died or have been sick or have injured in these past few months. We want to do all that we can because our pets depend on us, but we can't always do enough. And eventually, as with everything, it all comes to an end. And our pets have one final lesson to teach us, and that is the lesson of letting go. For our time with them is finite, and even though we don't want to, eventually we have to say goodbye, for this is the cycle of life, and it has always been this way. So in the end, our heart breaks, and that too is part of the love and caring that we have shared. Our pet may be gone, but the bond we have with them is never completely broken. In the end, all we can do is recognize the powerful impact of this relationship and continue to hold them in our hearts, even when it hurts. And to give our endless thanks and gratitude for sharing their lives with us. This is a poem by Gary Kowalski. We've shared many of his words today. We give thanks for the animals who live close to nature, who remind us of the sanctity of birth and death, who do not trouble their lives with foreboding or grief, who let go each moment as it passes and accept each new one as it comes with serenity and grace. Enable us to walk in beauty as they do, at one with the turning seasons, welcoming the sunrise at peace, welcoming the sunrise and at peace with sunset. And as we hallow the memory of our good friends now departed, who loved abundantly and in their time were loved, who freely gave us their affection and loyalty, let us not be anxious for tomorrow, but ask only that kindness and gratitude fill our hearts day by day into the passing years. Go in peace and go with love for all beings on the planet. Please share with me in our closing affirmation. Nurtured by this community, inspired by all that we share, may our actions carry this love forward into our lives and into the world every day. Thank you. Go in peace.